Okay, now we're looking at the Peeping Portraits instructional video. So when you purchase a Peeping Portrait, it comes pre-programmed. So basically it's plug and play, just like it says here in instructions. You plug it into the outlet in the wall, plug that power adapter in the back of the port, and the eyes are going to start moving on the sequence that we created. So what's neat about this little board it comes with is it's actually programmable. We can actually record a different movement, a different timing, and completely different sequence if we want, and we can customize that to your needs. So this is how you do it. Definitely going to need a PC or a laptop, and we're going to click this little link here. Hit resources, and then we can scroll down here to file downloads, and that zip file will start coming up here. You can see it actually did it before to test it. And then once you open up that zip file, you can extract it and have the right stuff to install the software. It'll start doing it. So we're going to minimize this. Here's what the icon looks like once we have the software downloaded. We are going to open this up. Now, in order to have this working, you got to have your USB cable connected to your circuit board, your power adapter on. Your USB that's connected to the circuit board or the servo controller board will be to your PC naturally. And what's happening is you're seeing the sequence that's actually programmed. You are seeing the settings as well that's targeted for these the values that are targeted for the eyes to move on each servo. So naturally you're only going to have 2 servos. Now these boards can handle up to 6 servos. So the cool thing is hey, if you have a vision for something else, you can always add other things, you know. I don't know exactly what, but you could. So here's where you would set those parameters, kind of like the previous videos. You could set up the parameters of your servo for your positioning. This is your speed and acceleration. So if we change this down and decrease the values, they're going to be very abrupt movements. They're going to be faster. So this is actually how you can change some of that setting to the speed of it actually moving. So play around with this. You can have accelerations. You can have things of that nature. So this could be very useful. And this is kind of how you customize your speed, your positions, things of that nature on this type of dial here. So you could see how that just drags. Once that server moves, you'll see this little dot kind of lag behind it. So what will happen is if we change this, let's go down to 0. You'll see one lag and one go right with it. So it's a fast, abrupt movement. All right. We can go to 5. Let's do half the speed. So in order to, you could play around with this setting, but in order to actually set that channel setting, you go into channel settings here and adjust it here. Now this is your sequence. So let's just go ahead and we'll go ahead and record a different sequence here. So I have one here that's already done. Let's see here. Let's do a new one. Okay, sequence 1. We're going to go back to status here. Since we're running a script, this is all the code that's already been recorded. We're going to stop that script. Okay, and then what we're going to do is remember this is also something to click when you're doing this. Run script on startup. So that means when you plug it in, it's going to run the script. So we're going to stop the script. Let's go here. Okay, so now we're down to save frame 0. This is your starting point. Let's say you got the eyes positioned where they're looking forward. You want to start there. All you have to do is simply hit say frame 0. Now you can look at your picture and you can move these eyes manually to which way you want to turn. Okay? Say you want them to turn all the way one way. Frame 2. And then let's say you just want a little bit of movement. Save that frame. Let's go across. We're scanning across, but not all the way. Go back to the middle. You probably can even make them cross-eyed or whatever. Do what you want. Figure out what the position is that you want by looking at the picture while you're doing this, and then save the frame. And okay, so these are here. So let's go to the sequence. These are all the frames that we saved. Now, if we do not change the duration time, which is milliseconds, by the way, sometimes depending on what value you have this on, it's going to be very glitchy. It's not even going to move. It's not going to do nothing because there's not enough time for it to move, because we set this to react at a slower value. So what we want to do is double click these, and this is where you can play around with your timing. So what I like to do is just to make it simple, know we have enough time, we're going to do 10,000 milliseconds, or we can cut that down to 5,000. Let's go to 5,000. This is your duration of how long between every movement, okay, you have that you're setting. So play around with this, because if you don't want something that's so active, but you want it randomly to move, let's say within, you want to do a loop it's moving within 30 seconds or something like that, you can play around and increase this value dramatically. And what will happen is your guest will come into a room, and the eyes aren't just going to go moving crazy. They'll just kind of move on their own throughout the time you set. So we can look at that right here. We can play it in a loop, and now we can just play this sequence. Let me see how that looks real quick. Yeah, it looks really good. So mine looks excellent. So anyways, we can stop that sequence. Now, to get that to be a script, right, you can also have, look at this, copy all sequences to the script. So you can keep building and building and building to do different things. But let's just copy this one here. And this is going to erase the current script that we already actually have programmed. So once you do this, the one that we wrote is going to be gone. So we can hit OK. And here we have all the code for that. We're going to apply settings. Now your script will be running, and all you have to do is unplug the USB cord, and every time you plug this thing in, you're going to be running. So that's it, and that's all you have to do to program the Peeping Portrait eyes to move however you want them to move.